our national anthem.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into this Saturday college football action with the UW-Stevens Pointers.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, or so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. This game doesn't seem like it's going to... Yeah, on paper, it doesn't seem like it's going to go that well for the Pointers, but hey, it could go anyway. You don't know. College football is like that. Anything can really happen.
Yeah, no, without question.
And the hope of the brave.
But as we said, the Pointers 2-5 overall, 0-4 in the REAC. The Eagles 6-1 overall, 4-0 in the REAC, which I believe is tied for first place with UW-Whitewater.
Fans, at this time, we would like to recognize that the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point occupies the lands of the Ho-Chunk and Menominee people. Please take a moment to acknowledge and honor this ancestral Ho-Chunk and Menominee land and the sacred lands of all indigenous people. Thank you.
Point struggled through the last 5 weeks. They went 2-0 to start off against out-of-conference opponents. Now they've lost to UW-Stout, UW-La Crosse, UW-River Falls, UW-Stout again, and then at UW-Platteville last week. They've been outscored 208-82 in their last 5 games. So Point looking to try to build some confidence, try to get their season turned around a little bit here. They just got 3 games left to do it. And again, as you mentioned, last in the WIAC right now are the Pointers, and going up against the tough number 12 nationally ranked opponent here today.
Stevens Point has won the toss and chosen to receive. Good luck.
That's definitely interesting. Yeah, the Pointers won the coin toss, but then they chose to receive in that
Today's officials are Benjamin Wagaki at referee, umpire Dwight Shelton, line judge Dave DeJuski, headlinesman Vince DePlaris, field judge Aaron Schramm, side judge Gary Niebauer, and back judge John Malm. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Pointer football!
La Crosse to kick off. With their offense going early, you had to pick a side of the ball that's probably been their strength. It's probably been their defense over their offense. So I think a little bit more trouble. All right. Sawyer Kick picking up. The kick is away, a line driver. And that one's going to roll into the end zone for a touchback. And Stevens will take over in one territory. We're looking to see what we've seen they've had some success running the quarterback
La Crosse. Touchback. Your pointer offense takes the field at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Pointer.
See a balanced offensive tactic. You know that the Pointers offense likes to throw the ball. I also want to see them run the ball. Take some of that pressure off the heroes.
And it is Max Hero.
Oh, yes, Hero.
It is Max Hero out there starting. So Hero has recovered from that. He'll pitch it outside on play number 1. And that is Stegall. Gets stuffed up for just about a yard or 2.
Gamel.
Give him 3 yards.
Pick up 3, where it will be 2nd and 7.
Which to his left, their left. And just able to get about 2 yards from that.
And now shotgun. And sacked. Is that a fumble? No. Sacked in the backfield.
Schrader is sacked at the 21-yard line, or it will be 3rd and 14
I
for
would
your
have to
opponent.
say it does look like number 8 out there.
Yeah, that is Trey Schrader, so that's just how poor my eyes are.
Hey, no, I'm not with you. I said it was Hero first. You're just listening to me.
So it's Trey Schrader out starting for the Pointers, as it's going to be 3rd and 14 for the Stevens Point offense. Lone backfield, back, steps up, he's got pressure, now he's looking to run, and he's going to get sacked again in the backfield. Back-to-back sacks on 2nd and 3rd.
Schrader for a short pickup. The 22, where it will be 4th down for your Pointers.
There was nothing there for Schrader. I mean, they only brought 4 with an extra linebacker on the blitz, but they were instantly in the backfield, and by the time
Number 97, Carter Unger, to punt for the Pointers.
They're going to have to kick it out of their own territory, so La Crosse looking to get some good field position here early.
And the punt is away. That is a short punt.
Wait, actually,
touched the
La
football,
Crosse
and Stevens Point
Fumble recovery
recover it.
for your
Stevens Point recovers that ball was fairly quick, and Henry Cross Point's going to take over in the cross territory.
Wow, what a lucky break there. But hey, we'll take anything we can get. So on the punt, what happened was I think it hit around the 45-yard line, bounced back and hit a La Crosse player in the helmet.
Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. It will be 1st and 10.
And now they're on the 40-yard line. They can get something.
These are the kind of scenarios where you have to get something. You don't get a gift like this that often in the game. It's like you're bringing pressure out here.
Welcome back to shotgun bunch formation. Schrader dropping back to throw, rolling left, and he is sacked once again. Schrader's got no time to throw. A little bit of extracurricular activity.
Schrader taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Ball will be placed at the 47-yard line, where it will be 2nd and 17.
There was no way that play was doing anything. Number 56, Ryan Burns, the linebacker, just kind of came out with a bit of a bull rush around the edge and just instantly got pressure in the backfield and took him down. And so far the defense for La Crosse has been very dominant.
No doubt, and this Point offense is looking for something here. They're going to throw again, and it's a little out route to Aguilera, and he'll get just about back to the line of scrimmage.
Schrader's pass is complete
3rd and 11.
to number 23, Joe Aguilera, who reaches the 40-yard line, where it will be 3rd and 10 Pointers.
Underdog, you try to get up to maybe a 4th down and 2 or 3 and go for it here, since you know that we're going against an offensive juggernaut against UW-La Crosse.
Let's see what they do here. It's 3rd and 11. Shotgun, Trey Schrader. In the backfield. To the left, Schrader drops back to throw. He's got pressure again, throws it down the left sideline. That's Jeremy Kobe. He'll pull forward. Very close to a
I think they're about to spot him just short. They gave it to him. And that's going to be a
Jeremy
down.
Kobe. 1st and 10. Do it again. Pointer.
Kobe, the last time we were here at Goerke Field, Kobe had himself a day.
Really consider himself as that #1 receiver that day. See if they can continue to go to him. Go to the hot hand in this game. He's out right now.
1st and 10, pistol look, the pitch out to Gamble. He cuts it upfield, spins away, and he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage on that run. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Gamel, the ball carrier.
I've seen Point come out and throw the football a lot.
Up to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 10.
not bad for them right now. You know, they had that last drive, which was able to get them the first down after being sacked on first down. So, you know, maybe they keep going, and the run game isn't working out. So maybe they just keep passing the ball. Oh, and that's going to be a flag on UW-La Crosse, and that's going to be a false start on them.
That was actually a smart move by La Crosse because as opposed to getting the free play,
That neutral zone infraction on the defense number 95.
It's a free 5 yards, but you don't. It's something we see throughout sports.
Move the ball up to the 25, where it'll be 2nd and 5. Pointers.
Early on, the pointers have kind of spread around the offense.
They come out here 2nd and 5. Schrader's going to hand it off. No, keep it himself. Running up the middle. Breaks the tackle. He's got room down the left sideline. A man chasing him. He's pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
The quarterback keeper from Schrader up to the 10.
Yeah, great play call there by Point.
Where it will be first and goal
running back, kept
for
himself
your
and found a hole in the La Crosse defense. I was able to get a nice chunk of yards there to make it 1st and goal on their own, on their 9-yard line.
This defense gets set.
The ball handed off to Gamel up the middle, and he's going to power forward for 3 or 4.
Gamel with the carry up to the 6-yard line, 2nd and goal.
Again, as you mentioned, hurrying it up here. They're not taking their time here, going no huddle and trying to punch this one in and go up early on La Crosse. Pistol look. Schrader.
Receivers to his left.
Trips left, and they hand it off up the middle again. That's Gamble powering forward. That's just short. He's going to get stopped.
Stigal with the carry up to the 3-yard line.
Yeah, so you would imagine here that you have 2 more plays and try and get that touchdown because you're at the 3-yard line. You don't kick a field goal here. You want to get that touchdown to put a lot of pressure on the opponent. Right? So you're on the 3-yard line. You have a couple of plays. You'll maybe try and run again, or we just throw a quick pass.
I would think they should try the running game. That's been working so far on this drive. If they don't work, they'll fix it. If they're a fullback, they're going to try to lead their way potentially.
And the snap here, Schrader, swing pass out to Stigal. There's not a lot there. He's going to be stuffed. There's a flag down there.
Schrader's pass complete to number 28, Stigal.
Had a handful of the jersey, and they're going straight to La Crosse. It's going to be a hold.
That'll be interesting to see if La Crosse accepts or declines this. If they decline it, it'll be 4th and goal at around the 2 or 3 yard line. If they accept it, they can push Point back 10 yards, but it'll be 3rd down.
I think they're going to accept it.
Smart play there, you know.
Holding. Offense number 44. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3rd down.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Yeah, so it was a hold on the UW Stevens Point, but no, it's smart to accept there because even if it's fourth down, you have 2 yards to go, and if you fail, you're still on the 2-yard line.
Third and goal
3rd down
from the 14.
But they're on the 13, so that you still have a lot more room to go, and if you miss it here, you're kind of forced to take a field goal. It's not that smart to try and go for it.
3rd and goal here from the 13-yard line. Trips right, bunch set for Stevens Point. Schrader drops back. He's going to a fade route to Outlaw, and that's incomplete. Overthrown.
Schrader's pass falls incomplete.
Bring up 4th and goal.
4th down.
From the 13. The Pointers drive stalls out.
Instant pressure right in his face. Tried to loft it in the end zone. There's a right play, a little bit of a wheel route to Outlaw out on the edge, but unable to come away with it. And now you have to
Montero on for the field goal.
Solid this year, so a good kick here could be a nice confidence booster for the Pointers.
And the kick is Ponterio. And the kick is up and good.
Pontero's kick is good.
Takes the lead early on the field goal from Victor Ponterio.
8:54 remaining in the first quarter. Your Pointers 3, Eagles nothing.
Well, it's good to get on the board first. Obviously, you want to get one in the end zone, but no mistakes made there. And here boots it right to the upright. It's 3-0 points.
Point really on that drive. It was Schrader's big run there, and then obviously the fortunate play that happened on the punt. It was really ended up being a good thing that Stevens Point took a shallow punt there because it hit a lacrosse up back.
Marshfield Clinic is making it easier to get care quickly in Stevens Point. Now open. Urgent care at Marshfield Clinic, Stevens Point Center. Visit us Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
By any means, and then it just touches them and gift wraps the score.
After the made field goal, Pontario to kick off for your Pointers.
A word you can yell out as a punt return group like poison, fire, something like that, where everyone can know to get the way of the football. And Stevens Point takes advantage. They don't get a touchdown, but they put 3 points on the board. Now we get a chance to see Point's defense, barring anything crazy happening on the kickoff. A little pooch right there down to the 25-yard line, taken at the 25. Now running down the left sideline with space and taken down at the 47 of La Crosse. Big return there.
Tackle is made by number 2, Chandler. Ben, flag on the play.
Today we got UW River Falls playing Platte.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
We'll be going on the road next week at as the cross comes out with a pistol set to start off. 2 receivers, 1 left, 1 right. Tight end. Hand off up the middle. And nowhere to go there. A helmet flies off. And that will go nowhere. It'll be 2nd and 10 for La Crosse.
It's a short pickup for the Eagles. Number 6, Joey Stutzman. Ball at the 25, 2nd and 10.
On the carry for La Crosse, Jody Stutzman. It's 2nd and 10. We got quarterback here for the Eagles. It's Parks.
Looks to his right.
Hand off outside, some space there. Bowling forward for 13 yards, and that's a La Crosse.
Stutzman with a carry up to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Eagles.
Doing his little bit of lateral quickness there, getting right up the field and picking up that first down. So a nice start here to the drive for La Crosse. See if the Pointers can try to get him behind the chains here and force him into these 2nd down and long situations. When you know in all likelihood it's going to be a passing situation.
And Parks will be in the shotgun once again. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Parks is going to drop back to throw here, looking over the middle. Now going to his check down on a drag route down the right sideline. That's a 1st down and more. 20-yard gain there. Pass complete.
Parks' pass complete to number 89, Austin Nade, out of bounds.
Stubenik
At the 37-yard line.
on the reception.
1st and 10. Eagles.
Play design there, kind of a little drag route run by Stubenik, the tight end, and nothing open down the field. Don't force it. Took what the defense gave him, picked up the 1st down, and now they got something going here.
Trips left now, 1st and 10 at the Pointers' 37-yard line. Parks motioning Stutzman to his right. Takes the snap, hands off to Stutzman, and he's going to get swallowed up at the 35-yard line. 2-yard
Thrown by Stutzman. Tackled by number 38, Michael Stevenson. Ball placed at the 35-yard line.
Yeah.
2nd and 8.
2nd and a long situation now. You would imagine, they're going to pass it, as you said earlier. But, you want to force them to these 2nd and long situations so you can try and pass it so you can predict, more or less predict what they're going to do now.
No, yeah, without no question. Yeah.
2nd and 8, shotgun look, 2 receivers left, 1 right. Parks takes the snap, hands it off outside now to Stutzman. He's got space again, breaking a couple of tackles, falling forward, and that is going to be a 1st down, an 18-yard gain for Stutzman.
Stutzman carries the ball down to the Pointer 18.
It looked like
1st and 10.
Player got
Eagles.
tackled. It may have been a nice pancake block, but from up here it looked like a big-time hold.
It'll be 1st and 10 now at the 19 of Stevens Point for La Crosse. This is their first offensive drive, and they're driving here in the red zone. Parks is going to roll out right, dropping back to throw. He's going to go to the end zone and caught in the back corner of the end zone. Touchdown.
Parks has complete.
Eagles go up 6.
Number 18, Cameron Sorensen, touchdown. Eagles.
Mathis enters on the catch for La Crosse.
That was a textbook offensive drive. Just going right on the field. A nice answer by La Crosse. They're up 6-0.
Number 15, Ryan Byrne, off for the extra point.
Offensive drive, and see if the pointers can try to answer, get something back up on the board.
Now the extra point attempt for La Crosse. It is up, and it is good.
Kick is good.
Good by
5:59 remaining in the first quarter.
for La Crosse, and your score is 7.
Eagles 7, Pointers 3.
Here she come now, say moaning, moaning. Shoot them down, turn around, come on,
The big,
moaning.
nice quarterback run by
Hey, she give me love and I
It's
feel
nice that
alright
the defense
now.
has to
You gotta try to set down, feel alright,
nice big win on there. They really just stuck to what they were doing. So far, they got a hold on every attack. Really, that's stalled it out, so it's going to have to be not really any penalty. Just taking what the defense did because turnovers in we've seen in a lot of these games in the tournament really been when they're down. And if they're down early, then we'll see if they can take a response and try to answer.
Byrne, the kickoff for the Eagles. Seagal and Aguilera back deep for the Pointers.
Kick is away. Good kick once again. Taken by Seagal. Running up the middle. Got a little crease there, but it closes quickly. Falls forward past.
Seagal with your pointer return out to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10. Pointers.
Yeah, no, so something I noticed from last drive that I thought they did really well, especially after the recover from the punt, was we're noticing that the run game's doing really well, but as well they had a couple of nice passes there at the end, and that's something that Will said beforehand was want to have that nice balanced offense to really keep them on their toes the entire game. So I'm hoping we can see more of that during this drive here.
Shotgun look here for Schrader. He drops back to throw. Now looking to run down the right side. He's going to tuck it and run, cutting up the middle and sliding down. Feet first.
Schrader with the QB keeper. Pick up a 5, where it'll be 2nd and 5.
Nice play to just pick up pick up some nice yardage using their legs. Don't force anything down the field.
Shotgun look, 2nd and 5 here for the Pointers, and Schrader's going to look over for an audible call. We'll make some adjustments to the formation. Schrader drops back, hands off. No, he keeps it himself up the middle for a yard or two on the play. It's going to be
Schrader on the QB keeper. Up to the 37-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Kept it himself. Didn't work as well, but got a couple of yards to make it 3rd and short now. So hopefully, try and get that 1st down and get a fresh set of downs. We can keep seeing what this Pointer offense can do this game.
Read option play where Schrader keeps it up the middle. Now it's 3rd and 3. They're coming out in shotgun once again. Schrader drops back and throwing a duck of a throw. That one was right in the dirt.
Schrader's pass falls incomplete.
Might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage a bit, but yeah.
Ball remains at the 37-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and 3.
Not exactly the couple options. I think they're going to take it. They are taking it full time now. But I want to see them. That was 3rd down. I'm not paying attention. I want to see them involve more of that RPO action. Maybe hand the ball off, throw it over the middle, nice easy slants. Not too different.
97, Carter Unger, back to punt for your Pointers.
We will see some more of that as this game goes, but that one, as you mentioned, they've just been tipped at the line. Now the punt, Unger's up and away. Not a bad punt. It'll be fair caught at the 31-yard line there for La Crosse.
Unger's punt, fair caught by number 22, Hayden Guns. Ball will be placed at the 36-yard line. We're up to 1st and 10. Eagles. Excuse me, 32-yard line. 1st and 10. Eagles.
They got somewhat decent field position. We're going to see if they can put some more points up and get some early separation against this Pointers team if they can get an upset.
1st and 10 from La Crosse zone 32. Fullback, running back there with Parks. 2 receivers to the left. Parks hands it off up the middle to Stutzman, and he's going to fall forward for maybe half.
Stutzman with a carry for the Eagles.
It's going to be 2nd and 9 La Crosse.
Tackle by number 92, Ludicus P.
Not letting them go through, make it another second and long situation. Hopefully this, second and long seems to be this the play that is hurting the Steelers for defense the most because they seem to be just going. They seem to be running the ball and they're getting a lot of yardage from it. So let's see what they can do here.
2nd and 9. Parks is alone in the backfield. He's got 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. As Parks surveys the defense, drops back to throw, throws a quick hitch route over the middle, breaking tackles, running forward, a big play here. This is a 20-plus yard gain.
Parks' pass complete to number 22, Hayden Guns. Ball moved up to the 46-yard line. 1st and 10, Eagles.
Breaking ankles on the way. What a nice play. I mean, that was designed to pick up 5 or 6 yards maybe, and we come into a 20-plus run after the catch. Just a beautiful play by this, La Crosse offense. I said Stevens Point.
And now 1st and 10 from Stevens Point's 47-yard line. Parks is going to hand it off up the middle. That's Stutzman again, making guys miss, pulling forward for 9 yards on the play. It'll be
Stutzman carries for the Eagles down to the 38-yard line where it will be 2nd and 2.
Broad shoulders, but he's got some quickness to him, almost kind of like a Christian McCaffrey in a way. We'll see if they use him in the backfield in this passing game to add another dimension to this offense that we already know based upon games that they've played this year. This is a high-powered offense.
Yeah, Stutzman, a 5'7" running back, but at 190 pounds, it's a big guy for his height for sure. He can move. 2nd and short. Stutzman has got green grass in front of him, up the middle, 5-yard line, touchdown, La Crosse. And another
Stutzman with a carry into the end zone, touchdown, Eagles.
Goes up 13-3. That defensive line just opened like the Red Sea.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to that offensive line. They just pushed Stevens Point right off of that line of scrimmage. And it was a nice hole, and Stutzman took advantage.
Number 15, Ryan Byrne, on for the extra point.
Yeah, no, I would have to. The running game for La Crosse seems to be just absolutely killing this Points defense as La Crosse gets the extra point there.
And good with 24 remaining in your first quarter. Eagles 14, Pointers 3.
Because of that, we're now down.
UWSP Athletics would like to thank our season-long sponsors, Marshfield Clinic, Skyward, US Bank, Century Insurance, Sanctuary World, PJ's Restaurant, Team Sherrill Companies, Subway, Stevens Point Brewery, General Beer, Papa John's, the National Guard, Grazi's Italian Grill, TDS, Buffalo Wild Winds, Dunkin' Donuts, Sport Clips, Hilltop Pub and Grill, Coca-Cola, BSN Sports, and Under Armour.
Back into this game.
There's just been a lot of cases this year, as you mentioned, where Points playing from behind early on in games. The other team gets out in front early, and Points just struggles to try and make a dent here later in the game. Let's see what this offense is doing here as La Crosse is going to kick off.
Byrne to kick off for the Eagles. To go. Aguilera back deep for your Pointers.
And just under 2.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Let's just try and get some good yardage so that we can go into the second quarter, hopefully score a touchdown and don't stop.
I want to see some aggressive play calling here. I want to see some deeper shots too, as well as the kickoff is being taken. Oh my goodness!
Oh, to the big hit, but took it off and fell forward to the
To go on the return out to the 28-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10. Pointers.
They're trying to knock you out of your feet every single hit. That was
some more aggressive play calls. They haven't taken, I don't think, any shots downfield yet through the air. Maybe we'll see one here. Shotgun look, trips right, bunched up the line of scrimmage. Schrader looking to throw a quick swing route to Gamble out of the backfield. He's got a little bit of space, but he's going to gain only about
Schrader's pass complete to Gamel
I tell you what,
for a short gain
that
out to the 30-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and
If the
8.
linebacker was looking up for it, this game could easily be 20 to 3 in the blink of an eye. That was not a well-executed play. What is this? Wow.
Schrader rolls out left. He completes it to Markel Outlaw, who's going to have the first down. And
Schrader's pass complete to number 3, Markel Outlaw. 1st and 10. Do it again. Pointer.
Already in the backfield before Schrader had a chance to even look down the field, and nice pickup. I mean, I said it out loud. I said it didn't look like there was anything. And Outlaw did a good job of making something out of nothing.
1st and 10 pointers at their own 44-yard line. Schrader dropping back to throw. Throwing over the middle. That's caught by Aguilera.
Schrader's pass complete to number 23, Joe Aguilera. Ball placed at the 45-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Nice pickup on first down. Now
Pointer.
they got something going here. Let's see if they can try to get some points here as they continue to drive here. Quick snap and up the middle. Here we go.
And that's Gamble
Gamel
falling forward for 17
the
yards.
carry up to the 28-yard line.
Should be. That was a great
1st and 10. Do it again.
On the ball as
Pointer.
This lacrosse defense is going to try to pop that ball and try to force a turnover here. But the Pointer is keeping their hands on the football. It's a nice run. It's about 15.
Pistol look for point, and
That's a good
a little miscommunication there. But Schrader going deep now, and he just throws that one out of bounds. Good decision there.
Schrader's pass falls incomplete.
Nothing going on.
Ball remains at the 28-yard line, where it'll be 2nd
A few times
and 10.
today with pressure in the backfield. Schrader doing veteran move there, to be completely honest, just going and tossing it away. Live to see another 47 seconds left in this first quarter.
You know, I'm really liking this play calling right now. Like I said, really aggressive stuff, and the run play there was a great mix of things. Got another run there.
Sickle with a carry.
You know, as the clock is winding down,
Ball moved to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 3rd
25 yards
and 7.
with a 3rd and long. You know, they're going to try and go for this quick offense right now.
It's a good idea because this lacrosse defense, as we've seen through the season, they live in these scenarios where if you give them time to recuperate, they're going to make a play. And if you play quicker, I mean, they might try to be also trying to dump them off sides here with a few seconds left in the half.
3rd and 7 for points. Schrader drops back to throw. He's rolling left. He's got pressure going back to the right. Looking down the field. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. Over to Markel
Schrader's
Outlaw.
pass
That was close.
incomplete.
Outlaw thought
Intended
it
for
was
number 3, Markel Outlaw.
Stevens Point at the lacrosse 25.
That would have been a difficult catch for Outlaw. I think he had a defender all over him. So it would have definitely been hard, but they're going to be going for it. Down by double digits early, and then they just try to jump. Clock stops here, so this is going to be an all or nothing play at the end of the quarter here.
There's 1 second left on the first quarter clock. Points got trips right. Running back in the backfield. Outlaw here. Far left side. Schrader drops back to throw. Checks it down short on a swing route, and this is going to be close, powering forward. And we'll see where they mark this.
Schrader's pass complete
This is going to be a really, really close one here.
to number 33, Jeffrey
It is close
Williams.
to where they mark it. there. Schrader just throws a quick swing pass and let his running back do the work there.
Ball is placed
Jeffrey Williams
at the 18-yard line.
I think they're going to give it to him.
That'll end the quarter.
We haven't decided. They haven't decided anything yet. We might have to bring out the chains here, to see if they did get the first down. This is real close. Like it's within inches. Yeah, bringing out the chains.
Coach Matt Walker's running what's taken so long. He thought that they got stuffed. And they're bringing the chains out.
The chain crew runs on here. This is a big moment for Stevens Point. Again, if your drive ends with no points again, that is going to be a tough pill to swallow. And we'll see what it is. It is
a stop.
Marked short of the first down. Stevens Point turns it over on down in the first quarter. We'll take a break and be back with more Pointer football right after this on UWFL TV. Welcome back, everybody, as we start the second quarter of action. Stevens Point down 14-3. La Crosse drops back to throw a drag route again. This is going to gain maybe 3 or 4 yards on the play for La Crosse.
A nice play design there. I mean, that's the second time we've seen that today. The drag route run by the tight end, a very versatile tight end. He's got lateral quickness, able to get up, and a physical end of that run makes it second down and short. This opens up a lot of possibilities here. Run game's been working so far, so let's see if La Crosse will take a shot here and put the pressure on the Pointers' defense.
That time it was Dustin Schultz, the tight end, on the reception, and it was a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1 here for La Crosse. Under center is Parks. Offset I formation. Parks will hand it off, outside zone run here, up the middle, and he's going to power forward. That is a first down on the carry that time. It was Brad Tobin.
However, there is a flag on the field.
Looks like it's coming back. I thought I saw a hold there. And it is, I think.
They're talking about it out there.
No, it looks like it'll be on point. Yep.
Unsportsmanlike conduct called against number 61 of UW Stevens Point. That's Michael Singer called for the unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's interesting there. I didn't think I saw anything about anything unsportsmanlike. I wonder what they called him on.
Something must have been said after the play, I imagine. I mean, these are guys, emotions are flaring, but these are mistakes you can't make. That's free 15 yards there to an offense that you haven't been able to stop here.
Now 1st and 10 from their La Crosse 45-yard line. Offset I formation. Receiver comes in motion. Play action pass. Parks rolling out right. He's got a lot of room, and he's going to complete it. Nice throw on the deep drag.
Flag
and
again.
That's going to be a 30-yard.
I think we're going to get another unsportsmanlike conduct, I think. Or no, ineligible receiver downfield. But he had 2 options on that rollout there. He had his tight end, which was a little bit closer. It is an eligible receiver downfield, so call that back. But he had his tight end and his wide receiver. Didn't want to force it into that tight window with the tight end. Decides to dump it out to his wide receiver and picks up a nice gain, but all for nothing as it's brought back on an ineligible receiver downfield. Didn't quite see the lineman that was down, but the ball has to be out of the quarterback's hands if the lineman's more than 5 yards down the field, and umpiring crew caught him red-handed, I guess.
And it'll be 1st and 15 now for the La Crosse offense. They come out in shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Stutzman flanks Parks in the backfield. Parks surveys the defense. Snaps the football. Quick screen out to the left. He's got a little bit of space here, running down close to the first down marker. It'll be just short on the reception there for the Eagles. That's Ryan Bartol.
Yeah, just a nice little kind of bubble screen action there. Get it out to your wide receiver and make a play on the edge. A nice block on the edge, able to pick up a nice gain. They're going to say 2nd down and 1. Gain of 9 on that play. And they're on the move again.
And now trips right for La Crosse. 2nd and 1. I think maybe a run here. We'll see Parks. Stutzman to his right. He'll hand it off outside to Stutzman.
Chance.
Making guys miss again, and that is a 1st down, a 10-yard gain, and rather was not Stutzman on the carry that time. It was Brad Tobin.
That was one heck of a block on the edge there. Stevens Point had no chance of stopping that. It was just great push by that offensive line and a little push outside by the tight end as well to get that seal block and open up a lane for the running back to get down the field. And this is danger territory. You get down 21-3. We've seen so far this year, the Pointers have had a hard time coming back from double digits.
Pistol look here for La Crosse. Snap. Parks hands it off to Tobin again. He's got space, but tackled down at the line of scrimmage. On the tackle there for Stevens Point on the play. Looked like Michael Singer on the tackle.
Great pursuit by Singer, able to get the stop there after he had a personal foul earlier on in the game, but making up for it on a stop. They had a little bit of daylight there, but able to shut it down.
Shotgun look, La Crosse, 2 receivers right. Fullback, 1 receiver to the left. Looks like Stutzman, no, Tobin back in the backfield here. Stutzman has not been in on this drive. It's been Tobin getting the lead at running back here this drive.
Pay attention to that. Maybe see if there's a little bit of an injury action maybe going on there.
Yeah, Parks will give it to Tobin. Tobin jump cuts to the left, falling forward, 1st down once again for La Crosse, and these running backs can just move.
I tell you what, I mean, he's not big by any means, and when I say that, I mean he's not necessarily tall, so he's lacking a little bit in the vertical area, but he just makes up for it with his speed and physicality. I mean, that didn't look like there was much there, and he knifes his way right down the middle of the field.
Yeah, both these running backs, Stutzman and Tobin, just like quick bowling balls here running down the field. And speaking of Stutzman, he's back in the game at running back. So maybe just giving him a quick breather there. But Parks is going to drop back to throw now. He's got space, throws outside on a curl route on the right sideline, and that's going to be close to the 1st down marker on the reception.
Give it to him.
Hey, we'll have the 1st down on the reception there that time. Looks like Daniel Denault on the catch.
He gets the ball out there a little bit quicker. That may have been a touchdown. There wasn't a guy within 5 yards of the wide receiver there.
You know, 1st and goal, La Crosse. 2 receivers left, shotgun look. 1st and goal from the 6. Parks is going to hand it off to Stutzman. Jump cut, walk in, touchdown for Stutzman, and La Crosse goes up 20-3 as they start to pour it on here in the 1st half on the Pointers.
Yeah, I mean, this defense seems like it's a little bit outmatched by this offense, the way they're clicking here. And, I mean, that was just a beautifully executed drive, obviously aided a little bit with a penalty on the Pointers, but you got to take what the defense is given, and the defense gave them free yardage, and they took advantage.
And the extra point is good, 21-3. Again, seems like we asked this question every week, but how does this Pointers offense put together some rhythm here?
Well, I mean, they got to get the simple completions and stuff. They don't, I mean, we talked about we want to see some of these deep down the field passes, open up that field. You want to see that too, but you also got to make things easy on yourself. Take the easy plays, take the check downs, and also you need to, the running game has been successful so far. They need to continue to use that running game and maybe open things up with a play action pass and take a few shots down the field, but really, this offense, I want to see them also try to use almost a 2-minute drill. You're down by 18 now, 21-3. You got to get something going here. You got to give yourself some belief you can get back in the game.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree there. There's this Pointers offense just needs to needs to score here because they need to gain some confidence for the rest of this game. There's still over 10 minutes left in the first half, so there's still plenty of time left to score. They just need to be able to score so they can have confidence for the rest of the game.
Right.
And we'll see if Point can do it here. La Crosse to kick off. Looks like against DeGaulle and Aguilera, back to return for the Pointers. And the kick is away. Relatively short kick. That one might go out of bounds. No, it stays in. Aguilera has to pick it up, running down the right sideline, taken down at around the 25-yard line, and Point's going to have to go about 75 yards to put it in the end zone.
I can't believe that that checked up that well. I thought that was going out of bounds for sure, but no, it checks up, and, man, like you said, punters have to go to they got to get something going here. They got to go quite a ways now.
Yeah, at the 25-yard line in their own territory. Schrader in the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Schrader takes the snap, hands off up the middle. That's Gamble trying to bounce it outside, but nothing doing there as he's stuffed in the backfield. On the tackle there for La Crosse was Charlie Kramer.
What a great play by Kramer, because if he doesn't get that block, there was another La Crosse player there, but there was a lot of green grass down that sideline, and a chance for a big play there.
And Kramer came up from his safety spot to make that tackle in the backfield. 2nd and 10 for Stevens Point. Shotgun look, bunch, receivers set, Outlaw flanked out left. Schrader drops back to throw. Now he's going deep down the left sideline, but overthrows his man. That was Outlaw, the intended receiver.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't the worst look there. If he would have thrown it just a little bit, just pulled it back a little bit, not thrown it as hard, he could have made a great play there, made a great pass. But no, it's going to be 3rd and 10 now. And, Pointers just need something. They don't want to punt it right away.
Got to pull something out of the bag of tricks here.
And they'll go trips right here for Stevens Point. You got to think maybe we do see a trick play, do something creative out of this Point offense to try to get something going. Schrader will drop back to throw. He rolls out left, now comes back in. He's just going to throw this one incomplete. He tried to throw it up for Outlaw, but it falls incomplete. Schrader took a big hit there.
Well, we talked about how he made some veteran-like plays earlier in the game where he didn't throw it in the area of play where there could be danger. That was not a good play right there. He just threw that one up for grabs. Lucky that one hit the turf because that could have been catastrophic.
And it brings up 4th and 10 for the Pointers here. They'll kick off from their 25. And what are you thinking as a Pointer player here? What's going through this Points team mind? Down 21-3, getting blown out here in the first half once again.
Well, it's got to be demoralizing. I mean, your defense hasn't been able to stop. I mean, when you play against a high-powered offense like this, is a beautiful punt, but you're playing against a high-powered offense, and you want to compete. You're going to give it your all, but these guys are just being out. I don't want to say it. Their physicality has been not as strong as La Crosse has been to this point. So they really need to come together and say, okay, guys, we need to get something together. We need to get some stops. We need to get something for our offense to cheer for. And I think that starts right now. They need to get a 3-and-out right now because, I mean, it's really going down 28-3. It's unless you're Tom Brady, most of the times you're not coming back from that.
I don't know if there's any Tom Brady's out on the field today.
Not right now, but maybe in the future.
Maybe. Trips left for La Crosse. 1st and 10 from their own 31. Handoff up the middle to Stutzman, and he just bounces back and forth, and he's got a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, you said it earlier. Stutzman looks like he's a big guy. Being able just to run through defenses, but no, he has some moves to him. He's sidestepping a lot. He uses his physicality to not only be able to sidestep but run through defense.
We got to give some credit to that offensive line, in particular the center Bonders. He is just getting a great push on opening up holes on that offensive line and really just taking advantage of their power.
And now they're going to look to throw a wildcat formation. We got a new quarterback in there, and he's going to power forward close to the first down. They'll give him the first there on the carry. It was a wildcat look. It looked like Cade Garcia. Well, it was Cade Garcia, the backup quarterback, was in the game. Maybe, and is he still out there?
An odd number, yeah, 24. You don't often see a quarterback with that number, so that might have been a little confusing. But it seems to be a little bit more mobile quarterback for the Eagles.
And he's still on the field. You got to think Parks has got an injury or something. Parks was playing well. Garcia's going to drop back to throw over the middle, and a miscommunication, incomplete. That was dangerous.
That was off his back foot there. Most of the times when you throw off your back foot, nothing good comes from that. Just not a good placement to get a strong throw out. And like you said, they're lucky that that was a tip drill right there. It goes up in the air. Unfortunately for the Pointers, there's nothing doing.
Yeah, Jacob Parks, their senior starting quarterback, just not out on the field. I think he's dealing with some injury because Parks was playing well.
No, he was, without question. And, I think, is he back in the game?
No, still Garcia.
Still Garcia.
So they're rolling with Garcia. It's 2nd and 10. Handoff up the middle. That's Stutzman again, making people miss, falling forward, breaking tackles, and he's close to the first down. They might mark him just a bit short. And it's going to bring up 3rd and a yard for this La Crosse offense. And if you have running backs like they do, maybe if you just turn around and hand it off, the quarterback isn't as necessarily important.
Right. If I had to give out an MVP for this game so far, I'd say Stutzman he's up there. He's had some physical runs today. Obviously, he's got the touchdown run, a nice big one broken. He has another one, but he has just played fantastic. So, with the way your offense has been playing, if you don't pick up anything here, I wouldn't be surprised to see if they go for it.
Yeah, offset eye, they're going to hand it off up the middle. This time Tobin, and he's got a lot of space, a first down and more, taken down at the Stevens Point 40-yard line.
That was I could have told you that from up here that we were going to get a run play. There was no way they were going to throw that football with the way this run game and this offensive line has been clicking today. It is just it's a masterpiece by this offense so far. Nothing that they have done today is really. They've had a holding call, I believe. Other than that, they have just been clicking on all cylinders.
And now shotgun trips left, 1st and 10 at the Pointers' 39-yard line. Garcia still in at quarterback, and he will hand it off to Stutzman again, taken down for maybe a yard gain. One of the first times we've seen Stutzman be stuffed up this game.
Yeah, a nice, I think that was Michael Singer. And on the stat, that's about the 3rd time you've heard his name today. Throughout the season, he's had a good season, always trying to get into that backfield. He's a very physical defensive player, as spreading it out a bit here.
Yeah, lone backfield. It's just Garcia back there at quarterback. No running backs in the backfield. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Point maybe bringing some pressure here.
Looks like it.
And they'll drop it back. Out. And Garcia's going to throw complete over the middle, spinning forward, falling forward, and that's another first down for this La Crosse offense. Garcia with the completion that time to Jake Simonchak.
And what's got to just drive the Pointers out of their mind is that was the right defensive play call. They backed out of it, and they had a linebacker in position there to get potentially an interception, just unable to get out of that fast enough and able to pick up the first down. Now they got something going again.
Yeah, it's 1st and 10 now in the red zone for the Eagle offense. Over 6 minutes left here in the first half. Garcia, he's going to hand it outside to Tobin. He's got a hole cutting up the middle. now being tackled down just short of the first down marker. It'll be 2nd and 2 for La Crosse.
Just a nice physical run there by Tobin. I mean, it's got to be nice to have a complimentary running back that can, I mean, just smash his way right down the field. I mean, there's nothing other to say to that. I mean, it's been pure dominance by this running game.
Yeah, we see little to no drop-off between Stutzman and Tobin when Tobin comes in to spell Stutzman. So a true two running back set here where La Crosse can go to either guy. And as you mentioned, you got to give credit to that O-line as well. Garcia's going to drop back to throw, throwing the fade route back of the end zone just off the mark and incomplete. 2nd and 10, rather 3rd and 2 now, down in distance for La Crosse.
Well, they had it, and I'm telling you right now, this is 4-down territory. If they don't get it here, they're going to be, unless barring a penalty, they're going to be going for it. Just by the way that this offense has been executing today, you would think. I mean, they haven't been able to stop our run game. In all likelihood, this is going to be a run, maybe a quarterback option here by Garcia. But this definitely seems like 4-down territory.
A pistol look here, Garcia. 2 receivers right. We'll see if they need 4th down. They'll give it to Stutzman. He'll power forward, and he's going to be just short, it looks like. It's going to be 4th and maybe a yard, 4th and inches here. And it does look like La Crosse is going to go for it.
Yeah, no, that's the right play there. You know, you're up 18 points right now, and you're 4th and 1 at the 10-yard line. You really want to put if you're at La Crosse right now, you want to put a dagger in this game right before half even starts, and this is how you do it, is by going for 4th right here.
And it'll be a shotgun look, 4th and inches here from the 10. Garcia and Stutzman in the backfield. Garcia, that's Tobin, rather hands it off to him, and he's going to have the first down. He cuts up the field, falls forward for just over a yard or so, and that's a first down La Crosse.
It was a close play, though. Nice penetration there. They say it is first down.
It'll be 1st and goal here for La Crosse.
Yeah, went with a nice quick run there, and all they needed was just a few inches, and they were able to get it there for 1st and goal. Now it's time to see if the Pointers can hopefully stop them before they reach the goal line.
Garcia's going to drop back to throw, going for the end zone, incomplete. I think La Crosse might be looking for pass interference there, but they're not going to get the call. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 7 for the Eagles.
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, they tried to get something there, but nothing. Ref's not biting on anything here. But, I mean, you think, again, this right before the half, this is most likely 4th down territory if they can't get it in here. But they've liked these little hitch routes they've done on the side, so maybe look for a hitch or a fade to the back of the end zone. Point doesn't have that tall of defensive backs, but on the other hand, La Crosse doesn't have that tall of wide receivers either.
Yeah, and they will go with the fade route in the back of the end zone. It is intercepted by Stevens Point. That's Tyler Van Ness on the interception as he just went up and high-pointed the football, makes the play. Stevens Point takes over.
Man, that is a big-time play. I thought for sure that was a touchdown, but needs maybe a little too much, a little bit of touch you need there. Just get it up where the defensive player can't make a play on it, but Van Ness finally getting something positive for the Pointers. Let's see if that offense can get some momentum going and get some points for half. Got 3 minutes and 55 seconds and I believe 3 timeouts, so plenty of time to get the ball and get some points.
That's absolutely massive right there. You know, hopefully this is a huge confidence boost for them.
Looks like it's going to be a run here.
Van Ness maybe turn around the momentum here, and Point takes over at their own 20. It was a touchback on the pick, and they'll hand it off outside. No! Schrader kept it on the outside. Fooled me up here with the read option. He kept it and gains 5 or 6 yards for Schrader.
Yeah, I think he fooled all of us because I also thought he handed that off too.
All three of us were confused. It looked like that they were running a fake kind of double pass there, or a fake wide receiver pass downfield. Looked like a trick play, but instead they kept it, and a nice read by Schrader.
2nd and 7. Schrader bunch with 2 receivers to the left. Now they'll send Outlaw out wide. Aguilera in the slot. Pistol look now. Schrader takes the snap. He'll go play action pass, rolling out right, stepping up, throwing over the middle, and should have been intercepted by La Crosse. It was dropped. Intended receiver was Jeremy Colby. The defensive player there batting it down for the Eagles was Cade Osborne, and he really should have had a pick there.
I'd say so. Hits him right in the hands, and I tell you what, that could have been a knockout blow right there. If La Crosse is able to get that. Now, just got to take it easy here. Don't force anything. You got the ball back. You do not want to give La Crosse easy field position, because if you do that right now, I mean, it's maybe good night, Irene.
And now 3rd and 7 for Point. Dodging a bullet with the potential interception. Schrader, quick swing route out to Gamble. He's going to get taken down short of the first down marker. It's going to be 4th, and we'll see where they mark it. Go 4th and 3 for the Pointers offense at their own 27-yard line. And do you go for it here at your own 27?
I don't think so. I mean, you and I both, Ashton and I both looked at each other and shook our heads. I mean, you're at this point, your offense hasn't been playing well, and to be completely honest, other than that interception, the defense hasn't been executing that well either. So I think the best option here is just kick it deep and hope that your defense can get a stop and give you the ball back. But this isn't a position, because if you don't get it, you give them the ball right on easy field position. And this offense, other to that interception, really hasn't been stopped here.
And they are going to bring out the punting unit, and the punt is away, taken at the 40-yard line. Quick returner here, cutting up the field. He's got space down the left sideline, cutting outside. He's going to be gone. A punt return for a touchdown for La Crosse. On the return, Jake Samunchak for La Crosse, and that one looked like he was gone from the start.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think we should elaborate. I think they should go next time. I think you were right about that. But no, you got to credit to the special teams there. They got down the field, and the only person that Point could have possibly had to stop that was your punter, and there were 4 Eagles around that area to stop him. And I mean, it was just you alluded to it. As soon as he caught that, I mean, at first I thought he fair caught it, because there were pointers all over him, but able to trick him out, and it looked like it was going to be big from the start.
And now 27-3 La Crosse. The extra point is up, and it is good. The UW-La Crosse Eagles now lead the Pointers 28-3 with just over 2 minutes.
Hey, you think we could possibly call Tom Brady over here? Maybe have him help out a bit.
Hey, Tom, we need you.
He's known for coming back in these situations, but in all seriousness, we gotta give massive props there to La Crosse. Absolutely great coverage there by the special teams unit for La Crosse, giving that space open for the punt returner to go and get that possibly dagger of a touchdown before half even started.
I mean, without question here. And an important note is that La Crosse gets the ball to start the second half, and you got to think, I mean, by the way that the offense has been playing here, I mean, you look back on it, a chance to get a touchdown, go up 7-0 early in the game, had to settle for a field goal, and haven't been able to do anything since. And you think, well, we're really shooting ourselves in the foot here. I mean, La Crosse, we got to give them props for it. They have been playing an excellent, excellent football game.
Yeah, they have, and now La Crosse going to get set to kick off once again. Just over 2 minutes to play here in the first half. It's 28-3. The kick is away. Another good kickoff there as Stegall returns. Now running right, cutting up the middle, getting stuffed at the 22-yard line or so. Forward progress will be stopped there. Point will take over 1st and 10. But we've talked about this Point team all year. We talk about, not taking care of the football, trying to get some plays downfield, I guess. The question I'll ask is just, what does this team do well? I guess who does the blame fall on for how this season has gone? This is most likely going to be 6 straight losses.
So you don't ever like to point blame at someone, right? You never want to focus on the negative here as they're getting ready for an offensive drive. But I think a main point of emphasis, I mean, there have been mistakes made by the quarterbacks, but this offensive line has not given them any time. In any game they've played so far this year, they have been blown off the line of scrimmage. And whether it was Max Hero or Trey Schrader, they have just been under siege by the opposing defense is a timeout taken by the Eagles. But, I mean, you got to also question some of the play calls, too. You have some drives where the run game is working, and then you take a pass and you throw an interception. You have some times when the pass game's working, and all of a sudden you run it, and they stuff you 3 straight runs, and you have to punt. So you can point at a lot of things. Obviously, you don't want to focus on the negatives, but there is a lot that needs to be looked into. And it doesn't get any easier from here. As we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, they still have to play Whitewater, the best team in the, statistically wise, the best team in the WIAC. They're tied up for first place with these Eagles of La Crosse. But, I mean, I'm interested to hear your position, Ashton, because you and I have kind of had the same opinion on this the entire season.
You know, I'm glad you said something because I've been looking at this offensive line, and honestly, I feel like the offensive line is, again, we don't want to blame anybody for this. We don't want, because pointing fingers, you know, it's...
Statue of Liberty play almost.
Yeah, and there's going to be a great run there by... We got a great run there by...
Number 18.
Yeah, number 18.
Oh, looks like a late flag thrown there on the sideline. Looks like this is coming back. Ooh. They're calling a legal crackback block, but
yeah, that'll bring the pointers back. Legal blindside block.
But Ashton, you know, back to your point, you were talking about the offensive line. They've really been struggling.
Yeah, no, it's kind of just playing the same record as you said, but they've given the quarterbacks like no time at all in this season to try and work their magic or try and do things. And we got another timeout taken. We got another timeout taken by La Crosse, but I guess I think the offensive line is probably the biggest issue of this team right now.
And that's something, I mean, we said a few times during the broadcast in the past, you need to have those all players meetings where you come together and you just lay it all on the table. I mean, it can be a difficult conversation to have, but there'll be guys point it out and say, okay, I need to be better. I need to be better for this team to be better. Because in order to be a functional team, everybody has to play as one. And if you don't play as one, I mean, this is the result you're getting. I mean, not everybody's on the same page. Turnovers, the defense has just really not been able to put anything together, and you know, it's just been a really rough season.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of good as you're listening to UWSP Stevens Point, Central Wisconsin. And it's 2nd and 13 now for the Pointers. They'll hand it off up the middle. Looked like Stegall there. Stegall on the carry. He's maybe going to gain a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 12. But, yeah, we talked about assigning blame. And I guess my question wasn't necessarily, blaming on a specific group. Maybe it's just everybody, on the whole team. Coaches, players, everybody deserves blame as another timeout called. There's a lot. I guess we're both teams just rifling through their timeouts before the half ends. Well, La Crosse looking to stop the clock so they can get the football back, assumably. But
that's exactly what I'm thinking right now. I think what La Crosse is thinking right now is that they want to get the stop here, and then the point is going to be forced to punt it, and then they just get a nice quick drive for another touchdown to go up possibly 35-3, which we don't want that to happen. Like, that would be just extra crushing.
Right, and you look into, the Eagles' next game they play is at UW-Whitewater. So that's going to be presumably a top 10 matchup between teams. And, you think at what point when you get up by so much, okay, are you going to start taking starters out? Are you going to put in second strings? Or do you want your offense still clicking going into the next game? So, it's going to be interesting to see what both teams do at halftime and what adjustments are made. But really right now there's not really a solid answer.
And now 3rd and long, Schrader's going to keep it himself, and he's going to power forward. He's going to take the first down himself, a 12-yard run there from Trey Schrader. They faked the handoff to Outlaw coming over in motion, and Schrader kept it himself for the first down.
I tell you what, Trey Schrader has some heart. I mean, he's down by a lot. He knows it's going to be a difficult task going up, but he's not giving up. He's he's going to play as best as he possibly can, and he showed you an example right there of why he's a leader right now, and he's showing it.
And now 1st and 10 from Stevens Point 34, as now those La Crosse timeouts helping point out a little bit if they can put a drive together.
Right.
Schrader and kind of casually just holding it back there. They look to set up a screen. Instead, they're going to throw it deep to Aguilera, and that one goes right through Aguilera's hands. A drop.
Yikes.
For Aguilera.
Yikes. That's a big time mess up. But on the bright side, the clock stops. No need to use a timeout. Recuperate. Try to get another play, but you gotta come up with that football after. Just a nice way of Schrader to elude the pressure.
And it really looked like a broken play. It looked like they were trying to set up a screen that wasn't there, and they threw it deep on a screen. A little bit of an odd play, but Aguilera should have caught it. Schrader now hands off to Stegall for a yard or two, and Stevens Point doesn't call timeout here. They might just be wasting the clock down.
I'm really confused by this. You want to get something positive. I know you want to just take it to halftime, but you got to get something positive into this team because you can't take it into halftime on a sour note.
Yeah, and Stevens Point's got 3 timeouts, and they're not using any of them. Down under 20 seconds now here in the first half. They're just going to be okay to go into halftime down 28-3.
Yeah, this is really confusing because, again, like you guys say, we want something. We want them to score. We want a big play here, and they're just going to they're just going to run down the clock.
And you got to think this really probably shows that Coach Breitbach is not confident in his football team to be able to score. Maybe he thinks they're going to turn it over, and absolutely, he might be right to feel that way. This pointer offense has been atrocious, but you think you got to give him a shot to try to go score. But I don't know, a little bit confusing there, but that's the end of the first half. The Pointers are down 28-3 at the end of half number 1. We'll take a break and be back with more Pointer football after this on 90 FM and SPTV. Welcome back, everybody, as we get set to start the second half here at Goerke Field in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. The Pointers down 28-3 on the UW-La Crosse Eagles here today. And Point has struggled to get a lot going here. They're going to look to try to turn it around in the second half. They'll have to kick to start off. And I'll ask you guys, what did you see in the first half? What can Point do here in the second?
So, I mean, we talked about, we saw that initial first drive. The Pointers had some success. They punted it away. They were gifted that La Crosse touched it. They were unable to get a touchdown, but they did get points. They were able to spread the field pretty well that drive with a mix of running and passing. So I'd like them to, obviously you want them to get a stop to start that second half. And then you want to get the ball and try to get some momentum going. We see here, based on the stats, UW-La Crosse had 16 overall first downs. The Pointers had 7. You know, typically when that happens, you're most likely not going to be in the lead. But onside kick.
Point onside kick the football to start off the half. They recovered it, and they did let it go far enough. Stevens Point with the onside kick recovery, and what a way to start the second half.
That is a great call that I didn't see coming, and I can't say that any of us up here really saw it coming. But, well, now they can get into that offensive stuff I was talking about. You get the ball right around midfield here. You got to get something going, get some points on the board, get back in the game.
Yeah, and what a kick there, really, by Pontario. He just really perfectly dribbled that forward and perfectly executed. Now Stevens Point here going to look to get something going offensively. Schrader dropping back to throw. He's looking deep, but he's got pressure now on him. Rolling left. Schrader going to try to run with it and really just making the best out of a bad situation. They're running for about a yard.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't throw that one away. They really didn't look like there was much to gain from running that. He does pick up 1 yard, and saw him take a little bit of a tumble going out there. No late hit. They'll get the sign from the sideline, and second down and 10. They'll say no gain.
Will be, yeah, you're right. Will be no gain. Second and 10. Now Schrader trips right, bunched up to the line of scrimmage are the receivers. Schrader's going to go with that swing pass out to Stegall again, or Gamble rather, and that's going to go absolutely nowhere. It's actually going to lose a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 11 for Stevens Point. We've seen those swing passes a lot. What do you guys think of those play calls and how they've kind of been working tonight?
Well, I mean, they really haven't been working that well. And to be completely honest, you have to have a good run game for that to work. You have to have them, obviously, they need to monitor the run and make sure the quarterback doesn't keep the ball, because sometimes you can fake that pitch, have the guy go out to the left, and the quarterback run up the field. So you really need to have a solid running game for that to work effectively. And they really just haven't been able to get that going.
And now 3rd and 11 for the Pointers. Pistol look.
Blitz.
Schrader, there is a blitz, and Schrader's got no time. He is
fumbled it.
Stuffed up, and he did fumble the football. Still on the ground. Looks like La Crosse recovered it. We'll see what the call is, and they do. Trey Schrader fumbles the football. Pressure all over him. Recovered by La Crosse. First down, Eagles.
I mean, obviously you don't want to fumble the football, but I partially put blame on, again, the offensive line. There was no pickup of that blitz. It was almost like they were instantly right in the backfield, and they just ran over anybody in their way and easily got to Schrader. And, I mean, it'll be interesting to see here. They do bring back in Jacob Parks after he left for a while as Cade Garcia took over. So he is back in the game. So maybe it was just give him some rest for a while.
Yeah, maybe it was just you never know, maybe concussion protocol, they had to clear him. Who knows what it is, but a run up the middle and, breaks the tackle. A huge run, 20-some yard gain there again for this La Crosse offense. And again, it was Brad Tobin. And these running backs, they just don't go down.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It looks like he just bounced off the defensive lineman for point, and you got a huge gain there.
You can't arm tackle running backs. You can't arm tackle. You really got to just get in there and get them down.
And almost like pinballs in a pinball machine, just bouncing off sides there. And a quick throw now outside, and had a little bit of promise there, but it's going to be a 3-yard completion from Parks.
And the fact that that's even a 3-yard completion boggles my mind. There were 3 pointers that had a chance to tackle him for a loss. able to slip by him, but still, you got to make that tackle. You can't be in good position as they were and not make the play.
And that brings up 2nd and 7 now. La Crosse in the red zone at the Stevens Point 13-yard line, threatening to score once again with just under 12.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. La Crosse in the shotgun, trips left, Parks looking to throw, looking left, throwing left, complete over the middle, walk-in touchdown for La Crosse on the catch and the touchdown for the Eagles. It's Jake Simonchek.
Oh, man. I mean, Ashton and I both looked at ourselves at that play. It just looked like the defensive back was just baffled by it, because if he maybe broke that route in early, he had a chance at an interception, and as soon as he came down, he just misplayed him totally and could just literally walk into the end zone. These defensive calls are just baffling my mind, because they are just wide open Eagles.
Yeah, and it looks like Juwan Downing kind of just got shook out of his shoes there, as you mentioned. Had a chance to come and make the tackle, but the nice move from Simonchek. And again, just as we've been talking about all year with this Pointers football team, just not a lot of positives to look at here. Just a lot of struggles offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I mean, it's we talked about the soul searching, and that there's a lot of conversations we see here on the Pointers sideline, but it's really hard to tell what is really being said, because I mean, we can speculate all we want up here, but we really don't know what's going to happen, right? We can say, okay, well, they're going to regroup, they're going to get better, but it's really just hard to kind of put into words that you need to learn from your experiences, right? And they really haven't. They've been given opportunities and they haven't been taking advantage of them, and as a result, they're on their way to lose their 6th straight game, in all likelihood.
Yeah, and I think the disappointing part is, if you're a Pointers fan or maybe even a member of the coaching staff, is that there really hasn't been any improvement that we've seen throughout this season. It kind of, after the first game we covered this year against Stout until now, I don't think we've really seen a lot where you can say they really improved in this area, other than today they haven't turned the football over yet.
Yeah, and they're not going to get good. It doesn't look like they'll get good field position here.
No, they're stuffed at the 12 or 13-yard line is Stegall.
And Pointers are pretty fortunate they didn't get a penalty really there, because can't find the number, but one of our players hit a Eagle after the play was over. So, I mean, right now you got to imagine there's got to be a lot of frustrating things going through the player's mind. And right now it's you got to keep your cool. You can't do anything unsportsmanlike. You just got to keep your cool. You're down against it, but just keep being out there. You got to compete no matter what.
Yeah, 35-3, La Crosse leads. Schrader in the shotgun, trips right. He will keep it himself on the read option with a hole powering forward. He's going to gain 4 or 5 yards for Trey Schrader.
Yeah, and if we can point out something that has worked relatively well today, it's been the legs of Trey Schrader. He's had a few nice runs that go down the field.
And now he's going to drop back to throw. Now looking to run again, and I don't know where. Oh, he finds Gamble, completes it to him, but I think he's going to lose a yard or two. That was just a really odd play with Schrader just looking for somewhere to go.
I am shocked that there wasn't a penalty called against the Eagles. Number 44 for the Pointers, Bo Emmerich, the tight end, was doing a drag route across the field, and he was essentially grabbed and held there. There was no way for him to break on a route, and I think that's where Schrader wanted to go, because we've seen that the Eagles have been doing that and burning the Pointers' defense all day with those tight end drag routes. And like you said, that was just a messed up play from the beginning.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 now for the Pointers. Shotgun trips left. Schrader dropping back to throw, looking left, now looking back right. Stepping up in the pocket, he's got pressure, looking for somewhere to go. He's going to get hit and intercepted, and a walk-in touchdown for La Crosse. Maybe it was a fumble or a pick nonetheless. La Crosse with the score, looking for a number on who picked that and scored it. It was a defensive lineman
number 91
for La Crosse. And it was, well,
I thought it was number 91. But
it may have been 97. which would make sense. Jordan Leeds, 97. I think it was 97.
Okay, yes.
There's no 91.
I mean, we talked about how the offensive line has been struggling all day, and that's another case where Schrader probably should have just thrown the ball away, but he had no time. When you have no time to, as the extra point is up and good, when you have no time in the pocket to get the ball out, I mean, there's not much for you to do. And I believe that'll go down as probably a pick six because the ball never hit the ground. But you got to tip your cap to this Eagles defense. They're taking advantage of every opportunity the Pointers are giving them and not looking back. It's a beatdown, and the better team is ahead. And this is the kind of time where you got to start to think, okay, we don't want to hurt any of our players. We're going into a big time matchup next week. We're up 42-3. Are they going to put some second stringers in here?
Yeah, 42-3, and going back to that play, the protection was rough from the start. Schrader did a nice job keeping the play alive. He maybe just held it a little too long there on that play. You always talk about the quarterback's kind of inner clock, knowing when to get rid of the football, but as you mentioned, it's been tough for Schrader to try to have a clock when it's been so quick today.
Right.
So much pressure. So, yeah, just a tough. And Schrader was a little slow to get up on that play, too. He took a big hit.
Yeah, he took a big-time shot, and, it's just been rough all day. And for any Pointers fans or Pointers players really in general, and they need to just try to get something positive going, whether or not that's doing screens that pick up 5 yards as they squib it here.
Yeah, squib kick from La Crosse. Interesting there. It looks like maybe Aguilera on the return there past the 30.
Number 43, I think.
Yep. It's not Aguilera.
Richie Martin, the fullback.
Yep, Richie McMartin. The fullback. You're right.
Not oftentimes you see the fullback running the kickoff back, but...
No, but when you squib it, give him a shot.
That's right.
Give the fullback
Give anybody a chance here.
And now Stevens Point just the good thing is you don't really got any pressure on you here if you're Stevens Point. You can just kind of play loosely and try to make some plays. 42-3. Schrader shotgun. He's going to look to throw, and he is absolutely crushed in the backfield.
They're going to get roughing the passer, I think.
Schrader is down, slow to get up again, and they are going to call roughing the passer on the sack there.
That's
for La Crosse. And that one, he just wasn't touched off the edge. That time it was Jack Kelly.
That's rough.
And you're going to get the Schrader killed in this game if he keeps taking hits like that.
Right. And, you can go at Jack Kelly and say that's a dirty hit. That's the gray area, we see throughout all levels of football is what's too hard to hit a quarterback, right? To me, that was a great play by Kelly. I mean, he just came untouched. He took advantage. I don't think he tried to hurt him, but nonetheless, they're going to give the nod to the quarterback. And actually, I think they picked it up.
Oh, they did pick it up. You're right. Yeah, so they don't call it, and I think that's a good call.
I agree.
But I think what they were going to call was that the kind of new rule we've seen put in place the last couple of years where when the defender puts his weight on the quarterback, when he's driving down into the quarterback and putting his weight on him, sometimes you see a call with that, but they pick it up anyways. So it is going to be 3rd and 11 now after the short run for the Pointers. And
I agree. I think that was the right call. I don't think there was any malicious intent there by Kelly. He was just making a play.
And now Schrader dropping back to throw, rolling right. Looking for somebody open, doesn't have much, and is he going to complete this? No, incomplete. Jeremy Kobe with a one-handed catch on the sideline, but couldn't get a foot down, and that's going to bring up 4th and 11 for this Pointers offense, and they're going to bring out the punting unit, it looks like, at their own 34, and this offense just still struggling to find anything that works.
It's just I think it was a bit of a one-handed catch there by Kobe, unable to keep his feet in bounds, though, but kind of reminds me a little bit of the one not touchdown pass to Mercedes Lewis it's the greatest catch that's not a catch that you'll ever see. But, sometimes those are the kind of plays where, okay, I made a play, it doesn't count. But you look at the sidelines, you see a lot of heads down. There's just nothing positive these guys are taking as, it's just been utter dominance by La Crosse. Ooh, another fake fair catch. Oh.
And some good punt coverage there from the Pointers as they'll stuff the returner at the 31-yard line of La Crosse, and that's where the Eagles will start their possession. Still a lot of time in this game. 9:29 left here in the third quarter. As we'll see if La Crosse is going to start bringing in some of the JV guys, or they're going to stick with the starters. Looks like Parks is still out there. He's still got the starting unit out there. La Crosse going to go for another score.
Right, and you can be mad and say, oh, well, you're up by so much. Why do you keep the starters out? You got to remember, look at their schedule next week. They play the number 3 ranked team, UW-Whitewater. They want to give them live game reps against the team. So, you can be mad as much as you want. You got to stop them if you really want to have anything to say.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, point. Again, that's I tend to agree with the take you have there. If you want to stop them from scoring, just stop them. You can't expect them to mail it in for you.
Right.
La Crosse is still playing football here, still trying to play well. And as you mentioned, they got probably the biggest game of their season coming up next week with the 2 top teams in the conference, La Crosse and Whitewater, matching up next week.
It should be a 7-1 versus an 8-0 matchup. It's gonna be a great game.
And now shotgun trips left here for Parks. He's going to drop back to throw a quick screen out there, and just poor tackling from Stevens Point out in the open field.
I mean, I think that sums up this entire defensive performance so far today. Poor tackling, but I think it's the right call the defense makes. They put themselves in position to make the play, but they can't tackle. We've seen a few times there have been linebackers that could undercut routes, have an interception, but they make the wrong read and big-time catches there. It was a bubble screen that was going nowhere, and he's able to pick up the first down. It's confusing.
They'll go with another quick screen, and this one is going to be a big play, a 13-yard carry. It looked like it was close, maybe horse collar, face mask, something, but I don't think they're going to call anything. On the catch again is Jake Simonchek. We've heard his name quite a few times here today. Simonchek been a top target for Parks, but as you mentioned, if you're La Crosse, you gotta be content to just go with those quick screens and have confidence in your guys to make guys miss, because they've been doing it all game.
Right, and they've just been executing flawlessly on these bubble screens, hitch routes, or name it. They've been playing phenomenal.
Now they'll hand it off to Tobin again, and he's got space. Just about a 7-yard carry this time for Brad Tobin once again.
These are the halftime stats, I believe. But, you look at the rushing comparison here. If I can find it, oh, my goodness. We got 120 yards for Stutzman, 51 for Tobin, and Kate Garcia had 5. Typically, when you're at halftime and you already have somebody who's over 100 yards, you're typically not in a good position in that game.
That's bad news if that's happening. Definitely. And hand off to Tobin again, and this time it's going to be a first down, a 6-yard carry, and this La Crosse offense is just machine-like, just easily working it up and down the field.
I tell you what, that was supposed to be a run to the inside of the right tackle, but there was nothing there, and Tobin saw a hole open up right by the center, and he took advantage of it. He's just both of these back. I think we talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Both of these back, you don't miss a beat. Either one comes in, they swap out. They're making some amazing plays, and you got to credit this offensive line too. They are just pushing the Pointers down the field.
Yeah, pistol set here. Parks back there. He'll hand it off to Tobin again, now powering forward for a yard or two. But if you're the Pointers defense and you're the players out there, you got to think some of it just becomes a point of pride where you just can't let them in the end zone anymore out there on the field. And you're trying to not get embarrassed if you're the Pointers players. So you got to think some of that pride's got to kick in and they can get a stop.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping is starting to go through their minds soon, is that there's like 6 minutes left in the third quarter and it's already 42-3. Like, there's at some point you have to just put your foot down and be like, okay, enough is enough. We need to start doing things to, stop as much damage as coming in.
No doubt. As Parks is going to keep it himself and carry for 8 yards, 3rd and 3 now.
But we talked about it. We were saying, you can be as frustrated as you want at La Crosse, saying, okay, well, why are they still throwing these passes down the field? Well, they're throwing these passes down the field because they can, because you can't stop them. They're trying to keep their reps going, as we said, into next week. And you think, oh, well, they're trying to run the score up. Well, yes and no. They're trying to still go out and compete. I can guarantee you they came into this second half, and in their mind, the scoreboard is 0-0. They want to keep scoring. They want to keep performing the way that they have been and take it into next week. And, I mean, they have not missed a beat this entire second half.
And Parks is going to drop back to throw. Now throwing over the middle. That is dropped. So the Pointers get a bit of a break there as it's dropped over the middle. That'll bring up 4th and 4. We'll see what La Crosse does here. It looks like they're going to bring out the kicking team. So for the first time, Pointers will force a field goal. They had an interception earlier in the game, so La Crosse hasn't scored on every drive. But now La Crosse is going to try a 40-some-yard field goal here.
I've seen him kick it during these extra points, kick it all the way to the trees. The arborvitae's in the back, so.
Yeah, it's Sawyer Schick, and the kick is up. It's got the leg, and it is no good. Say that one missed, and the score remains 42-3 Eagles as the Pointers offense will get another chance. They'll come out and take over at the 30-yard line.
I tell you what, he had the leg for it, just pushed it a little too far to the right, and from where we are, obviously, I think it looked good, but the refs have better eyes than what most people do, and they got the right call. Hey, look at that. Pointers' first stop, assisted a little bit by La Crosse, but take what you get.
Yeah, their first stop other than the end of the half interception from Van S. But, yeah, the first time they were able to stop him without I guess that would be considered a turnover on downs there, supposedly. But 1st and 10 for the Pointers. Schrader drops back to throw. He's thrown down the left sideline. A hitch route caught by Markel Outlaw for a first down.
That's a great design and a great first down play there. Just keep the chains moving. It doesn't matter the score. In your mind, it should be 0-0. Play a 2-minute drill, get down the field. Now they're playing fast tempo.
Schrader drops back once again, looking over the middle. Pressure coming, running up the middle. Schrader's going to gain a few. He gains 7 on the play as he stumbles forward, 2nd and 3.
That's all Trey Schrader. Offensive line pushed right back in his face. He's able to escape and go up the field, pick up, I think, about 6, they're going to call it, maybe 5. They do say he picked up 6, but I like that they were playing tempo. They slowed down a bit, but you got to keep this defense honest here. I liked that they were playing fast, and I want them to keep that up here. Play with a sense of urgency.
Yeah, now shotgun again for Schrader. 2 receivers to the right. He'll drop back and throw. Quick screen out to Aguilera, who makes a man miss, falls forward. He's going to be close to a first. There's a flag down.
I think they're going to get a face mask.
So another late flag comes in, though, also.
It looked like Aguilera was grabbed by the face mask, I think, initially. That's what it is. But, this is a bubble screen, so oh, man.
They will call holding.
Brutal.
On the Pointers, and they're going to get pushed back 10 yards from the spot.
Yeah, that's a rough call there. I believe it was Aguilera Outlaw was called for the penalty, but a nice show by Aguilera to shake off a defender and pick up some yardage. But now it's right back to where they started.
And it's, 2nd and 11. Trips left. Schrader drops back a blitz, and a low throw is going to be incomplete into the dirt to Aguilera. That's going to bring up 3rd and long now for this Pointers offense.
I think he got that ball out a little too quick. I mean, the blitz was there, and it was, if he maybe held on to that a little too much longer, he could have gotten sacked, but he really wasn't able to plant his foot right and get that crossing route because it was too low. I'm thinking he threw it off his back foot if it skipped off like that, but really just this penalty is really hurting them now.
And now 3rd and long. Schrader dropping back to throw. He's got some time now. His time is over.
Block.
Looking to throw the left sideline. That is going to be dropped by Markel Outlaw on the sideline. He would have been tough to get his feet in bounds, but it's going to bring up 4th and long.
I'll tell you what, Jai Stegall gets a gold star on that play because there were 2 defensive linemen for La Crosse coming after Schrader, and he just pushed him out of the way for Schrader to even have a chance at throwing that play. It was a fantastic block. Unfortunately, unable to complete it, but I mean, he saved that play from being a sack.
And one of the lone bright spots we've seen, I guess, tonight or today, this afternoon. Let's go with a nice play there. Is the punt from Angers away.
Nice kick.
And it is a nice punt, and it's muffed and out of bounds. La Crosse will keep it, but they're going to be pinned back in their own territory at around their own 15. Like, how does this Pointers defense try to get another stop? Maybe try to make a play, try to go on the offensive, on the defensive side?
Well, you would think deep in their territory you want to try to blitz and put some pressure on this quarterback to make a throw. But we've seen throughout this entire game that they've been able to, and we'll see who they put in here. I think they'll keep the starters out, at least for the end of the third quarter, I would imagine. But they're playing too much man zone. You got to put pressure on him to make, and they're doing that now. I think it looks like they're going to back out of a blitz, but it's a run.
It is Garcia in at quarterback now for La Crosse. So the backup, they do have a backup quarterback in there, Garcia back in the game.
But they're playing on the edges. They're playing man on man, and it confuses you because you think. I mean, we talked about missed tackles being the thing. Obviously, one-on-one situations are typically my athlete against yours, and whichever one's the best would win. But I mean, the Pointers have had chances to make those plays, and I mean, they just don't. So I think in general, some of these defensive calls are the right calls. They just aren't executing them to what they can.
And on the handoff outside for La Crosse with some room. La Crosse does have mostly their scout team and backups on the field, it looks like. On the carry there was Brant Bowman, the sophomore out of Marshfield, Wisconsin. It's about 30 minutes west of here in Stevens Point. So Bowman on the carry. That'll bring up 2nd and 4 for the Eagles. Shotgun formation. 2 receivers left. Garcia hands it off up the middle to Bowman again, and he's going to gain maybe a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4, or 3rd and 2 for La Crosse. This Point looks to get a 3rd down stop here on 3rd and short, 3rd and 2. Pistol look for La Crosse.
Looks like they're going all in on a blitz here.
And looks like you're going to be right. Now La Crosse can audible.
Looks like it's going to probably be a lob up here. The wide receiver out on the edge.
Garcia is going to hand it off to Bowman outside zone, and he's going to have a 1st down, 4-yard carry for Bowman. La Crosse keeps on here on their drive.
I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but on an all-out blitz against a run, I don't know how a team picks up a 1st down against, especially to the outside run like that. Can't have other words to say here.
Yeah, it's tough to try to describe what we're seeing here other than just another rough performance from the Pointers here on another Saturday afternoon, which has really been how this entire season has gone. This is going to be 6 straight losses for the Pointers. As Garcia hands it off to Tobin now, it looks like back in the... No, that's Bowman breaking tackles, stiff-arming Wade, running down the right sideline, and a 20-yard carry for Brant Bowman. And now, for the Pointers, this is really where you should be stopping them. La Crosse has got backups in the game.
Right.
Bowman is a 3rd-string running back, making starting Stevens Point defenders look silly.
Right. I mean, you talked about it 2 drives ago, pride. When are they going to put their foot down and show pride? I think Ashton said that. And you cannot, like I said, you cannot fault La Crosse. They are just they have their backups in. They have their scout team in. You can't fault them for executing a play to what they can. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter here. But it's just been utter dominance. And to be quite frank, it's been really an embarrassment on the defensive side, especially. You had the 1 takeaway. But also the offense is really not not done anything to make their fans cheer. And you got to imagine, I mean, La Crosse fans, nice amount, make the trip over here, but La Crosse is going to go into their game against Whitewater with a tremendous amount of momentum going. And, I mean, they're going to think, look what we did last week. We don't know if they're going to score again. It's looking that way that they might. 42-3 at the end of the third quarter. And, you know, just things have not been great.
Oh, for sure. And as we get set to start this fourth quarter here, and Stevens Point looks like they still have quite a few of the first-string guys out there, if not all of them. Yeah, all of them. And La Crosse with mostly backups in here as we switch sides of the field. 1st and 10 for La Crosse from the point 34-yard line. Garcia takes the snap, throws a quick screen outside, and some more bad tackling as La Crosse running down the left sideline. We'll see a number on a receiver there. Again, another just quick screen where La Crosse is saying, hey, let's get it into our receiver's hands. He's going to make these point defenders miss.
Right, and we're looking here at the stats. Tobin now getting 84 rushing yards. Bowman now with 58 yards. As we still try to grab the number there on.
Yeah, it looks like 85.
These bubble screens have been lethal today.
Max Stubenik on the catch.
Max Stubenik, but I mean, bubble screens have been lethal, able to pick up major yardage.
And now they'll look to score. They'll hand it off. That's Bowman spinning inside, and he'll get stuffed that time. He'll get moved back a yard or two, and it's going to be 2nd and goal from the Pointers' 4-yard line for the Eagles.
Now, this would be a nice chance to make a stop here. I mean, they're banging right on your door of the goal line. If you could make a stop here, that would be beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, and again, I think, as we've talked about, it comes down to that pride just of keeping them out of your end zone, not letting them continue to run this score up. And Garcia takes the snap. He's going to throw the back shoulder fade, and that is caught for a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
What a catch there on the left sideline. That was Stubenik again on the left sideline on the fade route, and La Crosse goes up 48-3.
I mean, that was, all in all, just a gorgeous play. I mean, it was a amazing hands play by Stubenik. I mean, that pass was a little off the side. Maybe it was a misrun on the route, but that play was not executed to perfection. But what a great catch by Stubenik.
And the extra point's up.
Good, I believe.
And you're right, it is good. 49-3, La Crosse, and just not much has gone points away here today.
No, it is not. It's been a rough performance, to say the least.
And now the Point offense is going to, again, have a chance to try to put something together here. The Point's going to be at Oshkosh next week. Oshkosh, get another WIAC foe as we're near the end of the season and the WIAC conference season as well. But
Oshkosh ranked number 21 in the D3 top 25. They're at 4-2.
Yeah, so it doesn't get any easier for this Point team, as you mentioned. They finish out with Oshkosh, a ranked team, and then Whitewater,
the number 3.
You mentioned that it's going to be their toughest game of the season here at home against Whitewater 2 weeks from today. So at this point, at the end of the season, Pointers, they're not going to be in contention to win conference, to make a run like that. But what you want to do, you think as a coaching staff for the Pointers, is finish this season out and partially the end of this game as well, trying to put something together to have some sort of optimism heading into next season, to the off season, because if this season's going to end with 2 more 50-point losses, that's a tough way to end your season and a tough way to try to build momentum as a program here.
Right. I mean, and the fan base, after they started 2-0, I mean, it was the pink game, the crowd, the The bleachers were packed. There were all kinds of excitement, and they just haven't had anything to cheer about ever since that point, and they still continue to not. As good. I mean, what else can you say? The scout team defense get in the backfield and drag them down for a loss. There's not much really to say.
Yeah, and you talked about the fans, and you can't blame fans for. And I know you weren't, but you can't blame fans for not cheering.
Absolutely.
Not cheering with nothing to.
Right, without question.
To cheer.
It's not their fault at all.
Yeah, nothing to cheer about, and it's just been a tough season for the Pointers this year. As Schrader's going to be in shotgun here, 2nd and 15, dropping back to throw. Now rolling left. He might have a chance to run. No, he's going to throw it to Gamble, who's going to have the catch.
Oof.
Gets stuffed up at the 40, but that's going to be a Pointers first down as it's Schrader completing the pass to Gamble at the 40.
That's a nice play there. Defender had two choices. Do I cover the quarterback? Do I cover the running back? Decides to go for the quarterback. Running back slips out the back and able to complete the pass and move the chains. But finally, maybe some Pointer fans are cheering for something.
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect it. We still got a lot of fans on hand
Absolutely.
here
I mean,
at Goerke Field. Everyone's sticking around, supporting their home team Pointer, so that's good to see. The team's just got to try and give them something to cheer about here in the fourth quarter.
Looks like they're going to get number 76 for the Pointers. Ben Grossenheimer for the hold, and I'd say it was a little bit of a hold because he tackled the defensive man.
Yeah, usually tackling the defense is a little bit of a hold.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an infraction.
That's one way to describe it. Yeah, sometimes they call that. But that'll push the Pointers back once again. It's going to be 1st and 20, so they'll say that infraction happened right around the line of scrimmage. 1st and 20 for the Pointers at their own 31. Schrader in shotgun. Now getting an audible from the sidelines. Going to switch up the formation a bit, go spread. Well, Aguilera's going to motion back in. Some confusion out there right now. Schrader's going to be by himself in the backfield now. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Schrader drops back to throw, looking over the middle, rolling right, stepping up, continues to roll. Now he's running back to the left and still looking down the field. He's just going to run out of bounds.
I mean, what can you say? With 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, down 48-3, and offense still struggling to get the play call figured out and the personnel right. It's just nothing has gone the Pointers' way. I mean, I guess from a certain aspect, you could say they scored first with the field goal.
They did score first. Yeah, that's a great point to bring up. It's been 49-0 for La Crosse. They're on a 49-0 run. After points started off up 3-0 in this game. Schrader, quick screen out to Aguilera, makes a man miss, cuts inside, and then is upended, taken out by the legs. It's going to bring up 3rd and 16 for the Pointers. Again, this point offense, you got to give credit to La Crosse. They're covering well, but now it's at a point where La Crosse's scout team is outplaying the Pointers' starters.
Right. I mean, if there's any gut punch, that's got to be it right there.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to believe that the La Crosse scout team is better, more talented than the Pointers starters.
They're just outplaying them right now.
Yeah, it's just these Pointers are struggling here, and they're now a throw over the middle. Outlaw just outright drops the first down. That was right in his hands. Really couldn't have been easier, and Outlaw just drops it. It's going to be 4th and 16.
Yep, Schrader did about anything he possibly could with the no protection or time he had to throw the football, and Outlaw just dropped it.
And you don't want to pile on to this Pointers team, but at the same time, this is just hard to watch out here. I mean, Outlaw there, and Outlaw's not the only one. There's been plenty of players tonight who have struggled, but that was an easy catch. Kind of shows a little bit of a lack of focus here.
Right. It was a little bit, yeah.
At the end of the game.
I think that describes this game to a T right now.
And now the Pointers going to have to punt again. And that's a line drive punt, end over end. And not a bad punt. It's going to take a good point roll and roll right to the 20-yard line. And that's where La Crosse is going to start their drive with 10:29 on the clock, 49-3. La Crosse with the lead. And point coming out with their starters. And another thing to think of here is that, a lot of guys starting, obviously, senior players. This is their last year for a lot of them to be able to play college football and probably play football, really play football for the rest of their lives. So you got to think a lot of juice has got to come somewhere here from some of these senior leaders out there.
Right. I mean, you would think that there would be some form of leadership being shown, but as of right now, there's really been nothing.
And now the La Crosse will hand it off to Bowman once again, and he's breaking tackles, powers forward. That's a first down. Brant Bowman just bulldozing through point defenders. And it's first and 10.
You got to give the backup and scout team guys credit. They're coming out. They're playing hard. They're trying to fight for potentially a position out here, and they're showing to their coaching staff that we're here and we're going to compete.
Yeah, when it comes to the NCAA and college football, how many points you win by can be a big deal when it comes to rankings, where you end up placing. So La Crosse, they're going to keep trying to score. They put their scout team out there, but they're going to have them keep trying to execute, get them reps, and now a big play in the backfield for the Stevens Point defense. A 2-yard loss there on the play. Looked like on the tackle there was the defensive lineman for the Pointers, Malik Smith, the senior, making the play for the Pointers. So some juice there on the play from Smith. But it'll bring up 2nd and 12 now for La Crosse.
Just about 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here. Just trying to milk this clock and get this game done and get on that bus and go home happy are these Eagles. But it has just been a thorough domination by these Eagles.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Eagles for a second here. Eagles obviously have been dominating the Pointers here. They got Whitewater next week. We haven't personally done a Whitewater game, but looking at the numbers, watching a little bit of their games from afar, we can tell you Whitewater's a pretty fantastic team. That's going to be a big matchup next week between
It's going to
La
be
Crosse
big
and
time, and it's going. I'm going to say it right now. It's going to decide who wins the WEAC. That's just what it's going to be. Both teams are going to come into the game with undefeated records. I believe 5-0 in the conference. It looks like they're going to get a false start here on La Crosse, but it's going to be a big-time matchup, presumably against 2 top 10 teams. La Crosse, as of right now, they're ranked number 12. I'm assuming they're going to go up after just such a dominating win. But it's going to be a big-time game. It's going to be 2 high-powered offenses against 2 really, really strong defenses. The thing is for La Crosse is can they match Whitewater's big play ability, because that Whitewater is going to go for those home run plays right away. And we've seen today that they've made some big-time plays today against the Pointers defense as they set up a screen here.
Bowman, he's got some space here running down the right sideline. Brant Bowman, he's got one man to beat. He won't beat him. The tackle is made, but that is going to be a 60-yard screen pass to Brant Bowman. And La Crosse is well on their way to putting up another touchdown.
Speaking of big-time plays, as we were talking about, you got to match pace with these high-powered teams. And, they're going to go into the game as an underdog. I mean, anytime you go into a game against the potentially number 3 team in the country, it's going to be a tough task ahead. And I think that these guys, of what they've shown today, is they're more than capable of competing with teams at the top of their conference. They're deservedly so, ranked number 12. I personally believe they should be ranked in the top 10 after the performance they put on this game. And, it'll be a great matchup to watch. We're obviously we'll pay attention to it. But, I think the 2 best teams in the conference are going to be playing each other tomorrow. And, don't sleep on Oshkosh either. They're number 21 ranked. They're not a terrible team either, and that's the Pointers' next foe. So,
yeah, Oshkosh an excellent team. WIAC with a few nationally ranked teams this year, a strong conference in points. They got a tough road ahead here. Their final 2 weeks of the season, as we talked about. But right now, La Crosse threatening to score again in the red zone. Garcia, he's going to look to throw over the middle. Caught, touchdown, La Crosse once again. They're up to 55 points now on the board. They've scored 55 unanswered on Stevens Point. And on the catch, that time it was Ryan Bierney for La Crosse. Bierney, the senior, at the slot receiver spot.
Well,
55-3.
55-3. I think that should tell you the story of how this game has gone.
That's the great thing about sports is we have a final score that can tell us.
That's right.
Tell us what
that'll
happened.
tell us what
Yeah.
happened. That's right.
We got stats. We got a lot of stuff we can look at. Be like, oh yes, that's what
the
happened.
score.
Yeah.
There's also this magical thing called the internet as
There
well.
you
That'll
go.
tell us the score. But I think back to Whitewater, the matchup next week for La Crosse. I think the consensus every year, whenever WIAC play starts, is that Whitewater is going to be the team to beat in the year. And I think after this season, I think La Crosse has put themselves in the conversation. If they don't win this, let's say theoretically they don't win, I think they put them, regardless, I think they put themselves into consideration to the next season to be considered, okay, this may be the team to beat, Obviously, it's all going to go down to the next week. It's going to be a great game to watch. But 56-3 is the score. You can't take anything positive away from this. You really can't.
No, you can't. And yeah, just looking at rankings here, as we mentioned, Whitewater's number 3. They're 7-0. You never know; they can move up a spot after we'd assume they're going to win this week.
I'd say it's a safe assumption that they're going to pull this one out.
Yeah, and La Crosse going to get a win today. They're going to improve to 7-1 overall, and as you mentioned, they very well might sneak into that top 10 before this game's done. So Stegall now on the return. He takes it out past the 25. But yeah, that matchup next week, that's going to be one to watch. Whitewater and La Crosse, most likely going to be 2 top 10 teams in the country.
Yeah,
taking each other on. Doesn't get more marquee than that,
right.
And conference rivals to top it off.
Right. I mean, it's not the official conference regular season championship game, but it is.
The unofficial championship.
The unofficial championship game, in all likelihood. I mean, it's what's going to come down to that game. Let me take another quick check at standings. I mean, River Falls. I mean, UW-Oshkosh, they're 2-2. There's a 3-way tie for second place right now, but a lot of chaos would have to happen for any other team other than these two teams, other than Whitewater and La Crosse to be in contention for the championship.
Yeah, Stegall is going to get stuffed up at the line of scrimmage on the rushing attempt there, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 for this Pointers offense, and you got to think maybe a shot downfield here. Just why not?
Yep. Why not? I mean,
try to go for it. We saw, I believe it was it the last game we did here? Was it maybe against River Falls here where Point was down, similar to this game, but they actually scored 2 or 3 late touchdowns just by bombing it deep and giving their guys a chance. And now there's an end around here. Is that Kobe? No. An end around play here for Stevens Point. That's going to gain 6 or 7 yards on the carry for the Pointers. Quinn Calvin, the freshman. We've seen Calvin out there a lot more today at receiver.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up by 53 points, you can put in whoever you want and see if they can make plays as there is an injured pointer.
There's an injured pointer on the field. Take a look, try to get a number. He's going to be walking off under his own power, and it looks like...
It's good to see.
Yeah, it looks like injured player there for the Pointers is Bo Emmerich, the tight end, 44. Well, yep. So Emmerich, he's able to walk off with a little bit of assistance. It's like an apparent leg injury, but he's coming off the field. It's like hopefully not too serious.
Right, we want nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, it'll be 3rd and 2 for the Pointers. Schrader, spread formation. And Schrader taking the audible from the sidelines. Surveys the defense. Takes the snap. Schrader looking left. Now rolling left, rolling back right. Nowhere to go. Trying to break out of a sack. He'll throw it out of bounds. A heady play there by Schrader as he is just getting rocked in this game.
Obviously, it's at this point you want to focus on your health. And I think, Trey Schrader, he has just been beat up tonight. I mean, after this, he's going to look like he's a boxer. He's going to have welts and bruises all over him, but because he's been hit so hard so many times today and driven to the ground. And, you know, you can't help but feel bad for the guy because I think the main problem on offense is, today at least, it's been that offensive line. He's had no time to throw anything down the field. And, I mean, he's been on his back I don't know how many times today.
And it's 4th and 2. The Pointers punted away out of bounds at the La Crosse 25. And you got to think, if the Pointers end up having another offensive possession, maybe, as you mentioned, don't put Schrader back out there. I don't know who they're going to have as a backup with Hero. He's injured. I don't see Hero on the sidelines.
Right.
He may be in street clothes or something, but Hero's not suited up, so I don't know who they would have for a backup. You get a scout team guy, presumably, but you might not want to risk putting Schrader back out there in a meaningless part of the game now.
It shouldn't even be a thought to put him out there. It would be incredibly foolish to even do so. He's been maybe the only bright spot with his scrambling ability and ability to keep plays alive today. I mean, he had the one pick six that, I mean, he maybe held on a little too long till, but, I mean, you can't risk he's the future of the team.
Bowman just pulls forward again. This La Crosse team showing some depth at that running back spot. They got 3 guys they could go to.
I mean, we don't want to harp on the Pointers team and say nothing, but I mean, it's just been nothing going right for them. They're all just. I'm surprised at the freshness that this La Crosse team has played with today. I mean, it looks like they're not exhausted at all. It looks like they could do, play after play after play after play and never get tired. I mean, their execution today, even if it's the scout team, has been flawless.
And another big run for this La Crosse team. That's a 20-yard carry, and I don't think that was Bowman that time. We got the fourth running back sighting here for La Crosse on the carry that time. On the carry that time, it was Ben Michalowski, the sophomore, and that was a big run by Michalowski. And they're all the way on point side of the field. They're looking to score again with over 4 minutes to go at the Pointers' 40-yard line. Garcia hands it to Michalowski once again, powering forward. He's going to be close to another first down.
I think when you think of how La Crosse is going to get to compete next week against Whitewater, I think their number one focus should be their run game. Today they showed that they can have a dominant run game. And if they want to stretch that field against that good defense of Whitewater, they're going to have a consistent run game. And they showed, I mean, heck, even their third, fourth stringers, they can run the ball.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And this team, while when they've thrown the ball, they've been efficient, we haven't seen a lot of big plays in the passing game. All the plays are coming from that run game, as you mentioned, just playing bully ball. And you got to think they're going to continue to work that ground game, and they do here, as hurdling a man now is Michalowski, and he's going to be close to another first down, just short this time. It's 2nd and 2.
That just makes me chuckle, seeing the big guy just get a little hurdle in there late in the game. Do they have him listed as a fullback? I know they have him listed as a running back, but the 5'9", 215-pounder, he's a bruiser, and he can also make you look silly by going right up and over you.
Yeah, no, Bowman's going to come back into the game, so they're just rifling through their running back core, and really helps your team if you can do that. You got a lot of different guys. You can keep everybody fresh there in that backfield as well. As it's going to be trips left here for Garcia, and he's going to hand it to Bowman again, cutting right side, got some space, makes a man miss, spins forward, and just carrying point defenders out of bounds. That's another La Crosse first down as he heads out of bounds with 2:30 on the clock. The clock will continue to run here as it's 56-3. La Crosse leads. We'll see if La Crosse is going to try to put it in the end zone, if they're just going to try to completely waste the time off and take it to zeros.
It may be a mix of both. You're in this position. I mean, you're fighting for a spot on this team. You want to score. You want to show out for your coaching staff. And the Pointers, you got to get a stop. I mean, you got to get something to go your way.
And it'll be shotgun Garcia, hands off to Bowman, cuts up inside, and that'll be stuffed for a relatively short gain, maybe 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 as we are under 2 minutes here, 1:40 on the clock. And I think the tough thing about this game is that we haven't really. I think in the previous games, the Pointers have at least put up some points at the end of the game. You know, got a little bit of confidence going offensively. Right. This is their worst loss of the season.
Right, and as you alluded, it looks like they're in victory formation. They'll just kneel this one out. But, I mean, they've made the box score look closer than the game actually was. And so is this karma catching up, saying, okay, now they're gonna see the teams in the way that you've really competed. And it's just been a really rough performance, but you got to tip your cap to La Crosse. They're going to take advantage of everything the Pointers gave them, and they did. The Pointers did get one interception late in the first half, but at that point they were already down 28-3, and 56 unanswered points, after the Pointers got the opening field goal. It's setting up for a big-time showdown next week against UW-Whitewater.
Yeah, that will be a big one, and with this final kneel down, that's going to do it for this one. We got over 30 seconds officially, but that'll take all the time off the clock as the players shake hands in the middle of the field. That is it. La Crosse takes down the Pointers here today, 56-3. They score 56 unanswered to take down the Pointers here today as La Crosse remains undefeated in conference. They are going to improve to 7-1 overall, 5-0 in the WIAC, while the Pointers fall to 2-6 overall. The Pointers have lost 6 straight games, and they drop to 0-5 in WIAC play. And this is statistically the Pointers' worst loss of the season. They lose by 53. La Crosse gets the win. Also, La Crosse's biggest win of the season. So completely opposite ends of the spectrum as the Pointers take the loss. And, Will, what are your thoughts? I guess we've been talking about it, but final thoughts on this game and how this one winded up.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of film to watch. It's not going to be a good session when you lose by 53 points and give up 56 straight unanswered points. But we stated it's going to get only tougher from here. You face a nationally ranked team next week against Oshkosh, and I mean, it's not going to get any easier, and you just got to show some grit. I want to see some grit shown in these next 3 games. It's going to be still difficult opponents, but I want to see some fight.
Yeah, they got Oshkosh and Whitewater do the Pointers to end the season. Again, 2 nationally ranked teams. So, again, as you mentioned, hopefully they show some fight and try to end the season with a win or 2 or keeping games close at least. But it's going to be tough for the Pointers with 2 tough opponents. But that is it for us here today. I'd like to thank you all for joining us here on 90 FM and SPTV as the Pointers fall to the La Crosse Eagles 56-3 here today. And again, to thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you next time here on 90 FM and SPTV. From Cale Jacoby, Will Harrelson, and Ashton Parker, we bid you all farewell.